Good morning, Neighborhood Church. This is Tim. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. We're halfway through the week. It's beautiful outside. Well, at least here it is. It's beautiful outside. This morning, I am bringing you another story of Jesus, another parable of Jesus as we continue to look through the stories that Jesus told. And this morning, I'm going to be talking about uh, a passage from Matthew. It's Matthew 18, 23 through 34. And it reads like this: Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. At this, the servant fell on his knees before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay back everything. The servant's master took pity on him, canceled the debt, and let him go. But when the servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay back what you owe me, he demanded. His fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, Be patient with me, and I will pay it back. But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. Then the master called the servant in. You wicked servant, he said. I canceled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you? In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all he owed. So, I'm sure that's probably a passage that we've all heard, or a story that we've all heard several times. But I want to put some context in to the amount that was owed. So the original servant who owed 10,000 bags of gold. This was, in that time, it was called a Greek talent. So he owed 10,000 talent, and a talent was worth about 20 years of a day laborer's wage. So one talent was 20 years of a day laborer's wage, and he owed 10,000 talents. Now, the other servant that owed 100 silver coins, these were probably 100 denarii, which was usually a single day wage for a day laborer. So to put in comparison the two debts, one was by far greater. How many of us can read the story? If you're like me, this is often my response to the story. Is I read this and I'm like, oh yeah, like I would never react that way. Like I know that things have been forgiven for me, so I forgive other people. But how often do we truly forget to forgive others the way that Jesus has forgiven us? It's not only in the huge debts, it's the little ones. It's the crazy drivers on the road. It's the people who cut in line. It's the person who took the last bagel. It's whatever it might be. It could be something small. It could be something huge. How many times do we forget to forgive the way that Jesus has forgiven us? The debt that we have, the debt of sin, is by far greater than the small debt someone might pay against us. And yet Jesus forgives us. Jesus came to forgive us. So this morning, I want to encourage you guys to just take some time, read through this passage again. You might have a different translation that might put it a different way. I know Linnea and I have been reading through the Bible, and Linnea has been reading through the Message, and it's been really cool and interesting to see how things are phrased a little different depending on the translation. So even if you don't have a different translation, look one up and read through the story and see how it reads, and then take some time to reflect and just ask God, thank you for the forgiveness that you have shown me. Show me ways today that I can show the same forgiveness to the people in my life, the people who are around me. I hope this was encouraging this morning, and I hope it encourages you to dive deep into the stories of Jesus. Have a good one.